Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.
And we're live, bros. Hi, how goes it, everybody?
Hey, welcome to the show.
How goes it? So everybody tuning in, much appreciated. Don't forget, like, share, and all that good stuff. If you see the QR code at the bottom of the screen, update, that means there's a free NFT. So look at the bottom of the screen. If you see the QR code update, go ahead and scan that with your phone, and you'll get a free NFT. I'll be doing that throughout the podcast. As always, my co-host, Nathan, is here with us today, and our guest is Amina. How goes it, dude? Long time no see.
Howdy.
I know, it's been a while. We've known each other for a few years now. And as you know, I'm up in Canada, so things are going kind of weird up here.
They're weird everywhere, but yeah, you got a whole different type of weird. I dig that.
Yeah.
I like the Canadian weird, though. It's like we were just talking very polite weird.
Yeah, you don't have Capitol riots like we do. It's a little different.
We're a little different than you guys, but I wonder, like, Quebec is a little different than the rest of us.
That's true.
Starting to,
Yeah, I've been to Quebec, and it is damn near its own country.
That's what I heard.
Just learn crypto. Sean Hebert in the comments. How goes it, bro? Said a $5 super chat. Thanks for the donation, bro. Some people may not know. Me, Sean, and Amina, we've actually organized our own little, like, conference, and it was fucking lit, like straight up lit, and it was like bear market lit too. It was like Bitcoin was under the 20K again, like it took a dip, and we're throwing a conference, and me, Amina, and Just Learn Crypto in the comments, Sean, we organized one of my favorite, biased or not, we partied, and it was so much fun. Somebody brought a flamethrower, or not a flamethrower. I won't legally incriminate them, but we got to set some shit on fire with not a flamethrower, and it was fun.
Hell yeah.
We had 3 different DJs. We had a nightclub vibe to our conference and everything.
Yeah,
you know how to do
I was inside when you guys were flamethrowing it. I totally missed that.
Amina was like, lead me not to temptation. I will set all the fiat on fire.
Yeah, don't tempt her.
So let people know a little bit about you, because you do, when I first met you, you were doing meetups, and you were trying to on-ramp people into crypto as best you could, and you were doing this in like 2017, helping people get in, and I saw you doing it at that collab space, and you were just like, how do I do this? How do I, and to see you grow from just like
Yeah.
a bro hosting a meetup to how much you've done in this space, how far you've traveled, and how many memories I've shared with you at conferences. Just let people know a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got into crypto and what you're doing right now so they can get in touch with you and your content.
Sure. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. First time, so I'm really happy to be here.
Celebrate the right
Yeah.
way.
Celebrate.
Yeah, like I started a few years ago, like you said, in Ottawa with the meetup. I originally learned about Bitcoin. I'm thinking it's back in 2012. It's early. It could be earlier, but I'm being safe saying 2012. And I wanted it immediately. Like I love the whole concept. It was just it resonated with me. Like I got it. Like I got it. Anyway, I wasn't very tech savvy, so I didn't know how to buy it. And I actually typed in how to buy Bitcoin, and I couldn't understand it. And I'm a single mom, busy time. So I would sort of put it on the side and kept saying this little voice in the back of my head, you got to go buy this. It's a must. And literally it was like a few years later, 2017, and still that voice never stopped in my head saying, you got to buy it. Like I had eventually learned there was an ATM machine downtown Ottawa. I didn't go, but it was like, do I turn left or right? I got to pick up the kids at hockey, or do I go downtown and go get Bitcoin? So it was always there, but I didn't act on it. So 2017, I finally bought some, and that's when I learned what it really meant, how it worked, and started learning about it. And I didn't realize it was gaining value. This great asset, which is now historically the strongest asset in the world, right?
Yep.
And here I was just, consumed by this whole entire industry, and I was glued to my laptop all day long. I think most of us were in the beginning when we first learned about it. And then I started reaching out to the community. I thought there's got to be a meetup. I need to meet people. And there wasn't. So another gentleman and we organized one. And then eventually I just ended up at the lab space where you mentioned, where we had that conference, and started doing a meetup there. And 2 years later, bi-weekly, I was doing one, and it was great. I learned a lot from my members because a lot of them were techie kind of people.
Right. No, I get that. Same here too. Like I kind of got it, but it was like when I started doing meetups and getting more in touch with people that were like coders or developers or different odds and ends of that spectrum, kind of helped me learn a little bit about those different spectrums rather than just, I need to get Bitcoin so I can buy drugs on Silk Road. Like that's really like all I knew. I was like, I didn't know I didn't care. But then it's like kind of like being a fan of a car and not knowing what's up with it until one of your friends is a mechanic and he's like, bro, you got that twin V8? Are you serious? Like you don't even know what you're driving? Like nah, dude, no clue. He's like, you better start putting unleaded in that. It's like you don't know how to appreciate something just because you like it. And meeting people and growing communities like around the Bitcoin meetups definitely helps grow everybody's education about it, in different aspects. I've actually met a ton of different projects through you and your meetup, and a bunch of great developers and project leaders, different companies that have that are here. It's just it's amazing. I think everybody listening needs to start doing their own meetup.
I was gonna ask, how would you encourage people to get out and start that in their area?
How can I encourage people?
Yeah, honestly, how do you think people should get started in going about doing
what's the best way to start a meetup? Yeah, we could definitely talk about that, Amina.
Yeah, because I want to do it myself.
Honestly, I just literally went on the meetup site and started one. It's $20 and change a month. And I just, reached out to the community that way. You have to put a little effort into what it is that you like. Clearly, I was passionate about it. So you have to really like what you're doing, first of all. And and then don't be afraid. If you feel you can't teach, don't be afraid, because the way I looked at it was I reach out, I create a little bio or description, put a little effort into it, put it out there, and don't be afraid to put it out there, because that's how you initially start. Throw it out there. People will be interested. This is a very dynamic industry. It's new. It's unprecedented. So you just put it out there. You have to take that risk. And, people will respond. So it doesn't matter how many. Don't look at the numbers. Just start something. You just have to start it. And then if you're concerned about teaching, don't worry about that. So what I used to say to my members when they would come in, I knew nothing technical. Remember what I said earlier? I couldn't even figure out how to buy Bitcoin. And I'm a single mom. I'm in my early 50s. Yes, believe it or not. And
you're hot. Just saying. I'm gonna say it for everybody watching.
I wouldn't have guessed you for that. I would have guessed you way younger.
Thank you. So it's like, what do I know any more than the next person? Not much. And I just welcomed, and of course I'm in an area where there's high-tech community. So I did attract a lot of high techies, but I used to ask them questions. And I used to say in the meetup, this is our meetup, not mine. So if you want to come up here, if you know something you want to teach to everybody, come on up.
That's the thing. You don't have to teach, like you mentioned. You can just build the environment in where teachers can come to do what they enjoy and teach, and people can, do what they do and come and learn. And you can just be the person who facilitated at least that opportunity for them to meet each other. And that's sort of like, how I did my meetup. I did the same thing as Amina. Went on meetups.com, did a thing and said, hey, in like February of 2016, I was like, you guys want to meet at the food court at the 30th Street train station and, get Dunkin' Donuts and talk, and I don't know, like maybe 2 people showed up the first time I did it, but the next month, like 10 people showed up. And no joke, 90 days after I started it, Tone Vase flew in from like wherever the hell he was at on vacation, and he talked about Bitcoin in 2016 inside of a food court at a train station with all the announcements going off, and there was like homeless people asking Tone for $1 while he was talking about Bitcoin, and it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But
we started
just start somewhere.
Bar. We started like in a bar pub, really, the back of the room with a couple of tables, and it was loud, like you said, the background noise and the music. And then eventually moved on to another, like a video gaming bar. It was really cool. You would have loved it, Ken. And then of course, Collab Space was offered to me, which is a collaborative workspace.
And that was smart on their behalf. I mean, they collabed with you to give you a space for your meetup. And I can't tell you how much money I even brought in there just because of that. And like the conference we organized, different businesses I saw rent out spaces in there. So like, I when I saw Collab and, I knew about WeWork here in the US, not a fan of like WeWork. It's kind of fucked up. The way when I talked to Emilio, right? Wasn't that his name? Emilio is in the chat. Emil, I was talking to him about how he ran Collab, and it was like truly inspiring to see. He's a real philanthropist. He's like, I got somebody who couldn't even afford a place, and like I just hooked them up with somewhere to go until they can.
You want to know the story? The story is I went to Jordan St. Jacques meetup down at Innovation Center at Bayview Yard. So he had a meetup for tokens. And I'm sitting there in this, and these are new meetups that happened in Ottawa. So it was quite a buzz at the time. So the room was full, and Emil was sitting 2 desks over. It was this teaching room, so there were these desks. And he assumed, because Jordan had introduced me to the group saying that I had a meetup at the other end of town. So at the end of that meetup, Emil gets up, shakes my hand, and said, I own Collab Space, this collaborative center. He went on explaining it, and he said, I'd like to offer you a teaching room for free. It is my donation to the community and support. But you know why?
Right.
If he thought I was the creator of the blockchain.
Oh, God bless his soul. Oh,
bless him.
Oh, yes. Wow.
I don't know why he thought that, but
okay. So I've met him a few times, and he's not a dumb guy, but he is definitely a very kind soul. So I could see that if you told him you did it, he'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome, good for you." Like,
he just assumed and interpreted that,
dude,
and
that is hilarious.
It worked for me.
That's amazing.
So you never know.
Just let him think it, right?
You're accidentally Satoshi out there in the world, and just roll with it, bros. You don't have to be Craig Wright about it. Just roll with it and get a meetup space.
He still goes, I know who Satoshi is.
Yeah, like he still tells people he knows who Satoshi is.
I know who it is. Seriously, it's crazy.
I know everything.
I mean, so yeah, guys, if you're listening, I just go to meetups.com, start a thing in your area on there, and you could go and hang out at anywhere, a public park, since there's like lockdowns and shit, or maybe you could find like a venue, like a coffee house or something that can sit people far enough apart to where it's not an issue, and then you can just say, hey, let's meet up. Yeah, virtually as well. Skype is a big thing that's been blowing up, and I just think people need to, realize that if they want to see this, get bigger, they could do more than just tweet when moon. They could just start a meetup or join one that already exists.
When Lambo?
Exactly.
When
So
meetup.
like when COVID hit,
When
I
meetup.
didn't. Yeah. But when COVID hit, I didn't continue the meetups. Obviously, we were going through this whole process, so I backed off. Everyone was going to go through.
Same with the
something
ones
through
we tried doing 2.
Yeah.
Probably not going to happen again. We did 2 during this lockdown, and I'm not going to lie, like 30, 40 people showed up, but it was really awkward getting a lot of text messages from people 2 days later when they were all sick, blaming me for my meetup. And I'm like, okay, you win. You win.
Shoot.
Just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just
Awkward.
too risky.
Like,
I know.
sick.
So I
don't
started.
know.
Like, it does exist.
It does exist.
I know so many people out there like, no.
They think like COVID's like the Bandersnatch.
You know what? I see it as a flu. It's a flu to me, and I got sick.
Well, I mean, every year I
Whistler.
try not to get the flu. I will say, like, every year I do try my best to avoid it because that shit sucks. Every time I get the flu, I give my dog an my obituary to post for me. You know what I mean? I'm like writing a will and leaving my things to my dog. Like every time I get the flu, it's like, that's it. I'm gonna die. It might be a guy thing. My mom blames it. Like all the girls in the family, they don't.
We're
complain,
wimps.
But my brother, my dad, all of us, when we get the flu, it's like, great, we're all gonna die now.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So I
We're
do try
just
to
weak.
avoid it. Like I do take the flu itself pretty seriously. Just saying.
Yeah,
But
it's never fun, right? And like I was in Whistler for part of the winter. I was staying with Kyle Kemper actually and his wife.
Shout
It was
out.
great, so much fun.
Name
And
dropping.
I got sick while I was there. I got really sick when I was there, and I'm pretty sure it could have been COVID. I have no idea.
right.
But and
I
should
had
say, really sick. I got flus where it's way worse than that. Way worse, where I actually thought I was dying.
Same
And
here.
working
wasn't
in
that
the
bad.
school board, like we get sick all the time. And in the school, when you work in schools, you're always sick. We're always washing our hands just because we don't want to get sick so much. That's the only reason. Like, who wants to be sick?
Yeah.
So it was kind of the same feeling in Whistler Village because it was going around, and I was feeling the same way like I did in the high schools. Like, oh, I just got to be careful.
That's how I feel about these conferences that are coming up. Like, I've got to go to Miami for a conference, and then there's another one in Miami next month after that. And
Yeah, in June.
Nervous.
yeah, so I'm going to one in April. I'm going to one in June. Both of them are in Miami, and it's sort of like,
Yeah, I'm going in April. I want to go.
I mean, I will
think
be.
I'm gonna go.
I mean,
I think we're all going to be at that
So
conference.
like the whole mask thing is weird for me because like Amina, like I've always kind of had a mask. Like remember my high mask from Tweed, and I've always kind of wore a mask at conferences, and I've always told people in public whenever they get like, put their hand out to shake me. I do promise you at conferences, I don't shake hands. I've always just fisted the dap, and they look at me and I'm like, I tell them like, you don't want to shake hands. You're going to get sick. Somebody wiped their ass and forgot to wash their hands. Like, don't shake hands at a conference. So like these
You're the Howie Mandel of crypto.
Yeah, well, kind of. I've gotten really sick at conferences before, and I do blame it on meeting 150 people, shaking their hands, picking up like a fucking finger food, and eating something off of a tray that I touched with my. So I'm
really
pretty,
gross reading about it.
I'm pretty aware.
Are you
like,
germaphobe?
No, I'm just a
Are you
sycophobe. I don't want to get sick.
Yeah. But it is gross. Like,
but I bite my nails and shit. You know
when
what I
you
mean?
touch everybody.
I'm not a germaphobe, but like, if my brother's sick, I'm definitely not smoking with him.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, work. Like, we just don't want to get sick, so we do. We wash our hands a lot.
Exactly. But I wouldn't
absolutely.
do anything I would consider overboard. I think the whole wearing a mask thing and the sanitizer stuff, that's like a great silver lining. Because I've been told to take my mask off at conferences, and I'm just like, well, this is stupid. First off, you don't know like whatever's up with me. Maybe somebody's gonna try to kill me now that they saw my face. I don't know, or what? Like,
you might be burned.
Now I'm gonna
and you're
get
like
sick
hiding.
or something. Like, who cares why I can't? Now it's like you used to not be able to walk into a bank with a mask on. Now you can't walk into a bank without a mask on.
I have social anxiety disorder, so I actually kind of have been enjoying the anonymity.
Me too.
To be honest,
I love the mask thing, man. It makes me want to go out in public more. Weirdly,
I feel comfortable because I'm like, all right, nobody noticed that I'm like making a weird face or like doing something.
Anthony sent us €11 super chat, bro. You know, my only currency.
We like euros.
I don't fuck with fiat, but I do fuck with the euro. That's one of my favorite fiats. If I had to pick one fiat, I'm going with the euro all day.
It's your favorite.
It's the Bitcoin of fiat. Tell me I'm wrong.
Ah, cool.
Prove me wrong.
It's still fiat currency, isn't it?
Still the Bitcoin of fiat currency, isn't it?
Okay.
I prefer rubles.
The US dollar feels more like a BitConnect.
Well,
Interesting. That's
just
probably
Thank
very
you for
numbers
the
on a
super chat.
spreadsheet.
He said NFTs never die. They also never dip. There's never a crash.
They only
at the
fade away.
No, they only go on sale. NFTs don't dip.
Yeah.
They don't crash. They don't go.
Really?
They just go on
Speaking
sale.
of which,
I mean, listen. If you saw a Lamborghini at your dealership for $300,000 and you went back 2 months later and it was at $200,000, would you panic at the Lamborghini being in a dip, or would you look at that Lamborghini as a $100,000 sale today? That's the difference between an NFT and a shitcoin.
Right. Yeah.
I bought a pretty
So
good
you-
NFT yesterday, by the way, Ken.
I saw that ape move, bro.
I just had to shout
There's
that out
only
there.
a few of these NFTs left. If you guys
I-
in the chat are interested, there's literally 14 of 111 left. I feel bad if you guys.
I gave you all a chance to get that
Yeah.
101. I waited a little
You
bit.
picked
and
up
I
the
just couldn't
mint
take
one
it
of
anymore.
one. It is literally mining a ether on our planet like a fucking BP
Spend $1,000
oil
bucks.
rig right now. It's like BP oil fucking a ether. I love it, dude. It's so badass.
Yeah,
And
what's your favorite coin now? It's wax, right?
wax,
Is
yeah,
that-
wax is definitely my favorite.
And chain.
Well, chain is my favorite investment. I can't say it's
Yeah.
my favorite coin. I don't really use it as much because I need them to. They have Call of Duty, Fortnite, all these different games right now. I don't play any of them, but I do play Apex Legends, and that's within the roadmap for the end of April. So, I'll probably be saying chain after that because I'll be using it every day
Yeah.
because I'll be playing Apex Legends. I'll be winning. I'll be doing tournaments. I'll be actually more hands-on. But right now, the chain that I have, I bought it so I could do tournaments in my name later. So, like, I could put up $1,000 tournament and say, hey, if you guys play Apex Legends and you get the most kills, you could win a lot of my money. So it's going to be like a Howie Mandel win my money or whatever kind of thing. It's going to be great. And so that's why
That's
I bought
two
chain to
mentions.
just like do tournaments. But yeah, wax is what I use all day. I use wax. I gave up all my Bitcoin for wax when it was at 3 cents. When Bitcoin hit 50K, the very first time it hit 50K, wax was at 3 cents. And I said, you know what? I'm selling all my Bitcoin. I went all in on wax. See you guys
That's a
on
good
the moon.
move.
Wow.
It's a good move, actually. Look at it.
Yeah.
And I didn't
It
have
paid
much
off.
to really play with. That's why I took it as a YOLO. I felt like that Eminem moment. Like I have one chance, one opportunity, one time. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it. I holding Bitcoin isn't going to get me more Bitcoin. I got to do something
You have to move
with
your
my
money.
Bitcoin that's going to get me more Bitcoin. Because holding
Yeah.
Bitcoin isn't getting me more Bitcoin right now. And I just, took that shot into something that, not because I thought it was an investment with wax, but I just found myself selling more Bitcoin to buy wax more than I was selling wax to buy Bitcoin. And it just started to get frustrating. I was
Yeah.
like, well, why don't I just get wax then? Like skip all this. It's just so like annoying. And now
I'm doing this backwards.
that's what I use.
Yeah, dude. And you're earning a ton of wax too
I'm
through
staking
your
it.
sales.
Yeah, I stake. Well,
Staking it.
I'm staking
Oh, you
a
can
quarter
flip it.
million wax, and I'm earning 30 wax a day at 20 some cents, about a quarter
Pretty
a
good.
wax, 30 wax
Nice.
every day. And then I make 15% of every secondary sale when somebody buys or sells one of my NFTs. I get 15 cents from every dollar. And that goes back towards, getting more art and making more, content, and just it goes back into the collectibles. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin ain't doing none of that for me.
Yeah, no, it's smart what you're doing. It's good to move your money. When you want to make money and invest, you have to move everything, move it around and know what the next opportunity
Ooh,
is,
I is blood
things
out.
like that. But you really have to know what you're doing. Like
Yep.
you just, what's that?
So,
Absolutely.
somebody in the chat said a quote from a game I love. Shout out to Senor Lupe. We have a collab coming out, everybody. Senor Lupe. You guys, you ain't even ready. Trust me. It's coming out this week. What were you saying, Amina? I'm sorry.
It's very cool.
No, just saying that like it's really good to move your money around.
Oh,
and keep
yeah.
it-
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. If you can. If you can't, then don't. And if you're not an investor, don't pretend to be. I
Exactly.
only bought shit that I genuinely liked. Like, if wax went to a penny, who cares? I'm still using it, whatever. It didn't go to a penny, even better. But, like, that's the same thing with a lot of the stuff that I grab is just like, oh, this is cool. I want to use it. I want to play with it. I never, like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine being a kid and buying Pokemon and just staring at the box for 20 years. That's never been the mentality I've had, you know, but I was the kid who was like, yo, let's go buy some Pokemon cards and fuck each other up. And as an adult, hindsight, like little kid Kenny was on to some shit. How about I let him take the wheel for a little bit? How about I let little kid Kenny take the fucking credit card and let him go ham for a little bit and don't have that adult mentality of like, this is a bad investment. You shouldn't be putting so much money into Pokemon. It's like, yeah, but I like it a lot and I have fun playing it. Like, stop being a grown-up, you know, joy killer. And that's how I'm trying to, like, approach this. I'm literally letting my inner child steer my portfolio. I'm buying coin because Coin Artist, I love her art. I can stake it. That's, like, the most adult version of the childish stuff I've done. It's like, oh, my God, one of my friends has their own money. Hey, let me buy your money. And I'm buying my friend's money. And it's like I'm getting their coloring book colorings for having their money. It's so much fun. But it also went from 50 cents to almost $4. So it's not something I was like, oh, I'm making an investment. It's more like I'm just having fun. And the more fun that I allow myself to have, the more money I've been making. And that's just, I've never been an investor. I've just kind of had that Jekyll and Hyde personality and just try to let them both negotiate evenly and figure out what's going on together and not try to ride left or right brain when I'm jumping into something.
That's awesome. I love it. I love your attitude. It's so important to have fun with what you're doing. It's so important to love what you're doing. Then it doesn't feel like you're working, right? It's really awesome.
Key to success.
Hey, big shout out to Sean Hebert because Sean reached out to me about the NFTs and he actually jumped on a call. Like we jumped on a call and he started showing me wax.io and Atomic Hub and he got me set up with my own accounts. And I know I reached out to you to do an interview, which we're going to do.
Yeah, we were supposed to be doing that right now for the record, everybody, but calendar mishap.
I know. Well, I did ask you. I said, let's do an interview. And you said, and it's so good. I love it. This is great.
But no, what I meant was, so if you want to book it, you can always book it for a meeting. And my meetings are for, and then we could do the podcast then. My calendar is open source. I try to let anybody get a one-on-one with me if they need me. But unfortunately, outside of that calendar, it's really hard to get me because I'm doing like a million things. And I'm trying not to spread myself too thin. So I am dialing it back a little bit.
No, it makes sense. It's being organized too. That's good.
In the layer of mayo.
Talk to you.
So are you making NFTs? How are they going? Have you been looking into like wax?
Well, I haven't made one yet. I have art, so I'm an artist and I do have some pieces that I want to turn into an NFT. So Sean had suggested create a website that has my artwork and then it links, right? It links the NFT to the website.
Have you seen the one I've done? NFTforsale.com?
I actually own one of your NFTs.
Oh.
I bought one.
I love you. Thanks for the support. You should be staking it because now if you have one of my NFTs, if you stake it, you can actually get paid in crypto just for having one of my NFTs.
Get that stake.
Oh, cool. Okay, I have to figure all that out. That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you go to NFTforsale.com, there's a little thing you can click and it will take you right to the staking.
Okay. So then how do I stake mine? Like what it just says.
So you'll see a little button underneath and it'll say stake it. And once you hit stake, every hour you can go back to the website and collect some currency, or you can go back in like a week and pick it all up at once.
Okay.
Oh, and you can sell it for wax on the secondary exchange called Alcor. So the coin that you earn, you can sell for wax and then buy more NFTs. It's crazy.
That is crazy. And I'm going to ask you all these questions. I have so many in my head I want to ask you now, but I do want to keep them for the interview. But I'll ask you right now this one. So a lot of people are saying, you know, this is a trend. It's a phase. It's going to die off. What's your response to that?
I mean, probably for most things. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there was Pet Rocks and Beanie Babies.
I was going to say,
but there's also Pokemon cards, right? I mean, of course. Absolutely.
Well, I don't think NFTs are a phase in just
how they're being used, right? I mean,
but but like what's coming at the collectible side, perhaps, it's really hot right now. We've seen that.
Using NFT technology is a fad, but I think a lot of the things that are using NFT technology are literally a fad.
Yeah, what goes up must come down, and we've gone so high so fast that it's like any coin or anything that we're investing in, it has to correct.
2 years ago, I tweeted Beanie Baby NFTs. Go and look that tweet up, and I want you to click on that video, and I want you to all watch it. But no,
I remember that.
yeah, you remember me talking about Beanie Baby NFTs? They were coming soon, coming soon. I mean, we're gonna see pet rocks, right? We're gonna see these like things that are gonna be nothing or whatever after they have like commercials on TV and everyone's buying blah 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 blah. It's like
most NFTs are a pet rock, like right now. I mean, if you think about it, just the concept is like they don't do anything; they just sit there. You like it, but it's like what it's not. Doesn't have
low
any
effort, low creativity,
right?
And infinite supply.
Yeah, and it's not to say anything bad. It's just it is what it is. It's one of those things where the nature of it is just. I think the key
that people are missing out on when it comes to NFTs is it's more than just a piece of digital art. It's a utility. It's permission-based access that is tokenized, backed by an image that you can see. If you have this NFT, then you can, play this game. If you don't, then you can't. You can take a screenshot, you can download the image, but you don't have the token that is tied to that image. So just because you have like kids even understand this. If you Google Fortnite skin and you screenshot all the Fortnite stuff, that doesn't mean when you go to play Fortnite, all your stuff is going to be there. That you screenshot. You have to buy those images. And even children understand the difference between downloading a screenshot and paying for the image, because it's not just a pretty picture. It's a functionality. It's a digital image with utility. Either it's a sword in the game, or it's a different type of camouflage that you can wear, or it's permission to enter a building inside of something like Decentraland.
So that concept already exists then?
Yes, it's all being used right now. I mean, so many things are using this. It's hard to kind of even think of one. There's Coin Artist, again, there's the Free Ross organization inside of Decentraland. If you have a Free Ross NFT, you can go inside of the building and talk to Lynn and hang out with people. It's really cool. If you want to play 22nd Century Series Racing on Steam, you have to have a Phantasma NFT from Ghost Market to use that car in the game that you're playing on Steam. If so all this is already happening. An artist like Blau, I bought his very first NFT. I never have to pay for a concert ticket again in my life to see him. If I have that NFT, I get to go backstage VIP every show he does. So that's the utility. There's something else other than it just being either a scarce piece of art or an infinite piece of art. It's like, it's having like a special dollar bill. If you take a dollar bill and stamp it, then that dollar bill with the stamp is the only dollar bill that can get you into this nightclub. And now you're going to be out there looking for a dollar bill with that stamp on it, right? Or how do I get my dollar bill stamped on? And that's where it becomes, fungible to non-fungible, right? Like a dollar bill is a dollar bill, but now if you put a stamp on one, that $1 bill with a stamp on it that gets you into the nightclub isn't of equal value to the dollar bill without a stamp on it, just because the nightclub said so. That's not, you know what I mean? Makes
it non-fungible. Interesting. Have you heard of Vulcan? Because this guy reached out to me about Vulcan. I didn't.
No.
I was just gonna say.
Okay.
I was just gonna do that too. I didn't want to be a nerd, but hello.
Yeah. No, Vulcan.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Have you guys in the chat, Emilio, heard of Vulcan? Anybody?
No.
But,
no? Okay.
But when are you going to create an NFT, Ken, where you're selling like a consistent amount of your time on a consistent basis, and somebody can buy this for like a couple grand?
I'm figuring something out, man. I got Kenn
2 hours
coin.
a week.
There's already a Kenn coin out there. I want to give that some utility in a special way outside of all of this. So Kenn is a coin, and one Kenn equals one Kenn. You cannot own a fraction of a Kenn because I'm a whole thing.
I just want an idea. You should do.
It's a whole Kenn.
Oh,
right? Canadian Kenn coin, because there is a difference. The currency.
I could do Kenn for the U.S. and Bosak for Canada. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I made my own currency in 2016. Like, I was playing around with all this technology, when it came out, just to play with it and see if I could or how it worked. And, Kenn is a coin that's out there from 2016. It's kind of crazy.
Pre-ICO.
Pre-ICO, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see well, that's the problem. Like all these coins were doing ICOs, and I was like, well,
they ruined it for you.
How hard could this really be? And I looked into it, and I was like, well, wait, if I can do it, oh, this is gonna be bad.
You're like, wait, anybody can just make a coin?
If I can do
crazy.
it, oh, this is gonna be so bad.
Yeah, you assume since it's like sort of high tech and that it's like a newer thing that it's there's some high tech barrier of entry, and it's like no, you can create something pretty easily.
I was already seeing 12-year-olds coming out with their own shit coins in 2018, and I was like, bravo.
Yeah, dude, it's this is creating a whole new layer of like inventiveness in people's minds, young people.
Yep.
Like they're growing up with more possibilities, which is going to create more imaginative outcomes.
I'm just waiting for these kids to start buying NFTs from each other. Like, as kids, there was always that, I know it can't have just been my childhood. Everybody had to have that kid in class who was super quiet to almost like, I don't know, Columbine scary quiet, but they could draw anime characters so good, like Dragon Ball Z in like the 5th grade, 8th grade. Those kids. I was buying art from that. I was buying art from that dude even as a kid to give to my girlfriend on Valentine's Day or something, or like, oh, like, bro, make me look like Goku. And I'm like 11 years old giving somebody like $1 so they could get a soda for a piece of art they drew in like 20 minutes in the middle of math class. Like these kids it can't have just been me, right? So there's probably still a thing right now, playground economy. We all grow up and forget about it, but the playground economy is so real, and they're tokenizing the playground economy. And now these kids are going to be able to invest in each other. One of us probably went to school with somebody who's famous, and we don't know it, but I bet we would have kept up with them on the yearbooks and or the email, the graduating email newsletters, and we all would have kept in touch with each other if we had a little equity in each other.
Yeah, and a lot of like what you see on Wax is like an adult version of that playground economy, which is what I think is cool. Like we brought all of our passion for like, like mine was like basketball cards and Magic cards, which is a weird combo, but that was my thing. Like I still have a passion for that stuff, and it has a place to live now, and it's kind of neat. The spirit doesn't have to die just because we grew out of our toys. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, and we could all be the toy makers now. You don't have to be Hasbro.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about Toys R Us not putting you on the shelves. That's the point. Like, I think, and there's a lot of people I saw on Etsy when Etsy first came out. There was a lot of dope toys that people were making, and it was like the Tinkerer, Age of the Tinkerer over there on Etsy. They were like, yeah, I want a bobblehead that looks like my dad. And you'd be like, wow, that bobblehead. Like, yeah, some dude made it for $20 on Etsy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you can't even buy that at Toys R Us. Etsy's awesome. This is like the whole new battlefield. Like, you have physical art, right? I mean, it's like you could make NFTs that if I were to buy that NFT, I could redeem it and have you mail me that physical piece, or I could speculate on it and sell it on the second market, and maybe Nathan will pay double what I paid, and then he'll redeem it to get the physical art. I made my money back. You got paid what you wanted. Plus, you made 15% on the secondary sale I did with Nathan.
And there's a concept of it being like having prints of it, correct?
Yep.
Like a digital print.
Yeah.
And then you make royalties on it.
So if you look at the Nanu Burks collab that I did, we kind of wanted to display that concept. Like, it's very similar art. But what we did with the prints, where we changed something, right? So they're very different prints along the same lines of the same inspirational image of the physical. She made a physical piece of art, and then she made digital representations of it. And they're along the lines, they're prints. We have a mint 1-of-1 print of the physical NFT. Since there's a physical piece of art, the mint number 1-of-1 is a copy of that, right? It's a print. And then there's 10-of-10, which are a set of another prints. And then there's 100 out of 100, which is another set of different prints. So I think artists are going to have a lot of fun realizing that they could take one piece of art and do a lot of things to it to make it have different series, different collectabilities. You know, there's only one Charizard in the Pokemon collection, but there's like 5 different variants of that card. There's the regular version, there's the holographic version, there's a version where it's like, you know, blowing fire instead. Like, there's so many different ways that you could take the same piece of art and do different things with it to give people the ability to have, you know, if you're Banksy and all you're selling is your original 1-of-1 art, how can I hang one up on my wall unless I steal it from Google and print it out? Well, you go to, you know, Walmart and say, hey, Walmart, here's $1 pieces of Banksy art because I have people that want to pay $1 for my art. But if you don't have that option, The only option that is available is screenshotting it and, is printing it from a printer in my house rather than paying for it.
So it's kind of like a copyright, would you say?
I mean, unless the laws acknowledge it, no. I mean, copyright's only a thing a law can say is or isn't. So I think those laws will be written to determine that within this year. A lot of big corporate,
a lot of laws.
Yeah, a lot of laws this year around it because of the companies that are getting involved. We have like the DC stuff, Capcom, Godzilla, all these, Star Trek, big IP, legacy IP, shit that they've already done battles with toy stores and t-shirt they've already battled so many of these very similar wars with IP and TM and all that. I think they're going to get the laws written, expedited. And yeah, you're right. Maybe they will consider this a trademark if you're the first person to mint a piece of art. That's sort of going to be like what Nathan calls that poor man patent. But yeah, you're probably going to have to wait to see because maybe this is just like, if I were to take a piece of paper and draw a Superman on it and sell it, that's not like something I would have to give Superman royalty for on the sale. I drew it. You're just an inspiration. Oh, but my inspiration's IP and trademarked and nah, not here.
Yeah, we're gonna force regulators to kind of make some decisions finally, and draw some very clear lines. I think
these laws will be obsolete. I don't think we'll have IP. I don't think we'll have patents in art or trademarks I just think it'll be irrelevant because of the ability to enforce it.
I tend to agree with that. That's a possibility. Might take a while to
the prohibition of copyright infringement. People are going to start. Yeah. People are already pirating movies on BitTorrent because they make BTT token.
We're in this renaissance. Like we've all kind of recently acknowledged it, at least on this show, that we're in this renaissance of art and finance, and maybe laws are the next thing to follow.
A lot of what people don't know, Nathan, is you as an artist and Amina as an artist. And I am just the muse. You, as artists using this technology, are minting future artifacts. If somebody 100 years from now finds one of your NFTs and stumbles upon it, it's a fucking artifact. It's a part of beginnings of something that is going to be so influential in the state of which the entire world moves forward. It's almost like when you go to Egypt and you stub your toe on a fucking coffee mug from ancient Egypt. That's a priceless artifact, even though it's a frivolous piece of shitty technology. It's a fucking cup. But that cup is a piece of what got us to where we're at today with hydro flasks. You know what I mean? So as an artist today, mint your NFTs today because you are making, quite literally minting history. It just has to take time. For time to build on top of today for it to be history.
Yeah, the future is now. Be a part of it. Get involved.
History is now. Man. That was Establish yourself in it right now.
Yeah, we have the ability to actually write it for the first time.
There might be an 8th grade class 100 years from now watching this because I'm ridiculously doing well right now. And shout out to the year 3031 for tuning into the podcast. I
love you. You're doing good.
I really hope you guys didn't invest in XRP.
Yeah, the bags are packed. They're still packed. The bags are still packed. Let's go, huh? Where's the island? It's been 1,000 years. I don't see the island yet.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Just to say something to that on a different level, as human beings, it's an interesting movement with the NFTs and what you just said, because our purpose, one of our purposes as a human race is to create. This is what we do best. We are creators, and creation is part of our existence and our purpose. So it is a digital form of allowing us to create. And it's like you said, with the younger generations, what they do, even in gaming and things like that, when they're creating all these types of things that you described, it makes sense that they are drawn to it because it's our inner draw is to create. And this is what we end up doing. They put out this start to a technology and they leave it for us to create it all. And then of course the bigger elites take it and form it into their own system, right?
This is why I stopped using Bitcoin. it went mainstream. I don't want to use it
Right.
anymore. Elon Musk bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Can we short Bitcoin and make Elon Musk go from the richest man in the world to the brokest man in the world? Please, please, can we GameStop stock Elon Musk with Bitcoin and all the other millionaires that are getting in? We should be using Bitcoin to rug pull them right now. Short this shit. Fuck them. I'm so like, I got out of Bitcoin as soon as my dad and mom got into it. Like, it's like listening to cool music. It's not cool anymore. I'm out.
It's like Dad's listening to Drake. That means it's not good anymore. No, I agree. It's not technology though. It's an investment now, and that's like.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. But when you first got into Bitcoin, Ken or Nathan, like you knew that it would eventually go to these.
But you could go back and find a podcast of me from 2016 telling people I do not want Bitcoin to go mainstream. I do not want Walmart using Bitcoin.
I
know,
but I mean, I still
stand by it. Very huge. And same thing with Doge, Emilio. Doge is going mainstream. It's no longer Doge. It literally lost its Dogeness. Elon Musk in the mainstream of the dude from Kiss, whatever, I forgot his name because I have no
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Gene Simmons, Snoop Dogg, Elon Musk. Yeah, they took Doge and they molested its Dogeness out of it with all their fucking mainstream bullshit, bro. It's no longer Doge, and you know it. We all know it. We all know
shifted.
It took that Doge for a walk.
Doge took the same shift I saw Bitcoin take when it broke $1,000 for the first time, and that shift echoed when it broke $20,000 for the first time. Bitcoin lost its Bitcoinness. I saw Bitcoin hit $50,000, and that's the Bitcoinness shattered and will never be restored again.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't care about when Moon, when Lambo. I'm not interested.
No.
It's a commodity now. Like, that's the thing. It's not cool anymore. That's your grandpa's investment.
Yep. Yeah. My grandpa uses Bitcoin. I use Wax, bro. What do you think?
Yeah, Wax is the new Doge.
What we experienced pre-COVID, all of us with the Bitcoin world, we'll never experience that again. It was unique. It was authentic. Yeah, it was great. I mean, what memories?
How many evolutions have we got to witness that people will never be able to viscerally feel? They can go back and Google it. They could look into it, but they'll never feel what it was like. Like that feeling I got using Bitcoin. I don't know, man.
Never get that back.
And I don't think anybody will ever feel that way again. That's just because now you have fucking Winklevoss telling you it's safe. I felt like it was before weed went recreational. It was fun. It was cool. Now it's like, damn, man, they take the fun out of everything by giving me permission. Like, I don't need your fucking permission. Giving me permission is like, now I don't want to do it because it's like the reverse psychology of like, you're telling me you want me to do it now. It's like, fuck you. I was doing it before you wanted me to do it.
Yeah, your grandpa's like, you want to get high? And you're like, ugh, not anymore, man.
It's like, depends. Do you do DMT yet, Grandpa? No? Well, guess what I'm moving on to?
I'm just gonna be with the machine elves all day.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's just how I feel personally, and I think a lot of the people probably resonate with that feeling. Like the whole Bitcoin Cash war. Bitcoin Cash won. Yeah. Bitcoin Cash won, hands down. Bitcoin Cash.
With usability, if we're talking like transactions and that sort of thing, like as a technology, of course, sure.
Why should any other part of that matter?
I mean, that's
why it won.
Absolutely.
That's why it won. I could send a penny in Bitcoin Cash to anybody I want for a penny. It's right there. I can send you a penny. You can't even send a fucking dollar for under $1 in Bitcoin.
The fact that you can send a penny.
That's what the mainstream did, though. They priced out the people that Bitcoin was made for. The people in South Africa that don't have banking. The people in Venezuela that are being disrupted by their governments. What happened in Greece not even a fucking decade ago. Like, the people that need to use it, they can't afford to use it because all the rich people are there buying up all the penicillin and making people that really need penicillin, they're charging up the market. So now you have diabetes, you can't afford your penicillin, you're all going to fucking die from financial sugar overload. Like, it's insane. Stop using it. Stop. Right now, like, I'm done with Bitcoin. Be your own Satoshi. Create your own fucking money. Create your own money. Stop using their money, and when they start taking your money, make new money and start using that too.
Yeah.
What about Litecoin? What are your feelings for that?
I use whatever you want. I don't care. Yeah. I just like They took over Bitcoin. They took over Ethereum. You can't use it. You're priced out by the monopolies that, like, everybody wanted to hear about a paradigm shift. There can't be a paradigm shift if the border to entry is too expensive to shift the paradigm. You're literally setting weights on the seesaw if you want mainstream to come in. They're just putting bags and bags of money on the opposite side of the seesaw when all we wanted to do was balance it.
That's the problem when you turn everything to gold. It gets very heavy very quickly. So it's going to throw it out of balance. It's something that needs to be protected now. It's like this thing that gets considered protect. Like,
I think every company will make their own coin. Every person will have their own coin. Every protocol will have its own coin. And
that's the future of stocks, is coins, essentially. I mean, I try to tell people that I consult with, they're like, well, what are shit coins, essentially? I'm like, you're kind of buying stock shares in a weird way. Like, what's going to make it? What's going to pump for no reason? Like, who's going to be there in 30 years? Like, these are all things to consider when you're looking at those. Mm-hmm. But that's the problem with the investment side of this, is it's just making it not fun anymore. It's ruining what used to just be good technology. And I mean, we're turning this into the stock market. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And the way the mainstream is taking over Bitcoin, I'm pretty unbanked. And I'm at the point that I'm so unbanked, it has become damn near impossible to use Bitcoin the way that they have convinced people to use Bitcoin. I'm like, you aren't even using Bitcoin right. And they're like, yeah, but now I got Robinhood, man. I'm like, fuck me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? They're confusing people on how to use Bitcoin in such a way that is the legacy way to use anything. And it's like, it's not any better. It's just better tech in a shittier package that they wrapped it up in now. And now they're making Bitcoin harder to use for people like me that can't get KYC, can't prove their addresses, and don't pay taxes.
So, you know what? Here's the thought. Like, I've always said that I think there's definitely a shift and a change of where we're evolving to and what we're doing. Clearly, we're going into a digital world consciously with everything going on. And in these times, you're literally going from one pattern to another because there's a new wheel being designed. So when you go from one pattern to another pattern, in between those patterns, there's chaos. We're in this chaos. And I always said, I've advocated for Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, this whole new tech, because there's a window of opportunity, right? With this open source, all these new techs, permissionless and all of this, and everything you're saying is changing, the mainstream's coming in and they're going to take it over. But there is a but, and I say that because I've always said that there's a stepping stone to another. And when there's this type of technology, that window, it's like John McAfee always said, that window of opportunity is there. You have to see it and take it, because you have to. I don't discount Bitcoin because of Bitcoin and blockchain and all these things. It's giving us the opportunity to go somewhere with this where we can create a more sovereign world if enough people can see that and we collectively take this. So this is an opportunity, but again, there's always opportunity if whether or not enough of us see it and do something with it. Doesn't mean it has to be Bitcoin, but it could be a step to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think what you're saying and what I see happening. I've always seen that happening because I'm a visionary. I see things. So I do see that happening where we will take this and move on from it, but we create better. We have to. We're at the bottom. We're at the foundation of something that's about to grow and go in a whole different direction. So this is a great conversation because these are the sorts of things that we can start thinking and understanding. It's to understand, what is going on, understanding our world, understanding this technology. We don't believe in things. We have to understand things. And I think that's important to say. But anyway, that's just my thought. That's how I see it. I
agree. I think it's important for the decision making. And I think kind of what you said, and this touches on, is we're all going to be deciding what economies to participate in. in the future,
and
basically.
how to participate. I mean,
and how exactly? How are we going to do that?
I'm not a big fan of DYOR. You know, I really haven't been. It's like, you know, people fuck. It's like
people are bad at research.
Right, and here's the thing: they don't even know what to research. Right? Somebody's like, "Oh, how do I learn how to ride a bike?" How about you buy a bike and sit on it, you know, and try? Yeah. It's not. You don't buy a book on how to ride a bike for dummies. You don't pay you don't pay a consultant to talk to you through a Zoom how you should ride a bike. You just buy the fucking bike and try to use it and figure out what you're doing right or wrong until you stop falling.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a consultant, I would even agree with that. Like, totally. People need to make some mistakes to grow, but also, like, seek the truth, you know? Like, do your research. Don't be afraid to really dig in. Yeah, it's okay to fail.
It's okay to get hurt. It's okay to get up again and try again.
It's more than okay. It's absolutely amazing if you fail.
It's necessary for growth.
Failing is success, bro. If you learn from it and don't let it stop you. Failure is the best thing you could ever. If you've gone 50 years in your life without failing at anything, I feel so bad for you. So bad. If you failed a million times and you're still here grinding and that is I'm so much happier for you. Even like that's me. I've had so many more failures than successes. Way more. And I think it's all thanks to every one of my independent failures that I've learned from, that I've had any ounce of success in anything.
Yeah, I think our imperfection is life's way of trying to force us to give into ourselves a bit and realize that we're super fallible and there's no point in fighting our own nature and we should just relax more.
I call it cocooning. Yeah. You know, everybody's got to go through the cocooning stage. It's ugly. You're not going to brag about it. You're not going to talk about it. You're probably not going to be posting pictures of the whole cocooning process on Instagram because it's an ugly evolutionary stage.
All the happy pictures and all the happy moments are posted, but we all go through challenges are so essential. I've had plenty of them in my life. I've had so many, and some very trauma. I've gone through a lot of trauma too, and that's okay. It's made me who I am today, and I'm good with it. You know, but I accepted it. That's the difference: accepting it and working through it. And
I'm giving away a bunch of NFTs right now. I hope you guys are collecting them in the chat. Oh, we just got another $11 euro super chat. Dude, Anthony, I'm going to be euro rich, bro. It's going to be one of my bigger fiat bags, I swear. NFTs are similar as life memberships. Exactly. It's a membership to somebody's life, man. And that's what like Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and Patreon kind of tapped into without being able to tie those two together. And what blockchain and NFT and all that's really done is found a way to like intangibly tie the physical to the virtual world. You know, if you gave somebody $100 to a Patreon account because they needed to get a life-saving surgery and they got their surgery thanks to like 100,000 people that all put up $100, and 25 years later they gave birth to a daughter, and 25 years after that their daughter ended up curing cancer. Like, you have equity in all of that now. Not just like social equity of like the betterment, but like financial equity. Like monetary equity in lineage.
Invest in human potential for the first time ever.
Right. Imagine having the first king of England's fucking, diaper. Do you know how much money that's worth because of how much it meant to everything that came after that?
Yeah.
I use it as an extreme example because not everything has to be a shiny diamond crown.
Yeah. As a good friend once told me, even the shit on the sidewalk is beautiful in its own special way.
I don't think I can argue because I've had stopped to ponder what animal that has came from, because
it was a Canadian friend of mine too. Well, sort of Canadian.
What do you mean sort of Canadian?
He lives there. He's not from there. So I feel weird calling him Canadian.
But does he have residency? Is he a resident?
Yeah.
And he's a Canadian. You better believe if I got residency approved in Canada, Amina, I would be calling myself a Canadian because all legal rights I am now. But
it's hard to do.
I can't even get on an airplane to come visit.
I know. I want to go to Miami.
I love you.
Yeah, but see, Canada's a little different. Aren't they charging you like $1,000, like, to get in and out of your own country?
So the thing is, like, I want to go to Miami, but there's a few of us who want to go, and what we're questioning is on our way back in, so international travel, you're supposed to quarantine in the government hotel. So they've just basically taken a hotel near the airport, made it a government hotel, which means it's completely barricaded off from the public with police.
Shitty hotel, guaranteed.
Prison.
It's pretty bad.
Camp. And then you're put in this room with no lock on the door. You have to pay for it. I think you have to stay there quarantined for 3 days. It costs you 2,000 Canadian dollars. And then you have to have their test done as well. And then they release you to your home where you quarantine for those 14 days. So it doesn't make sense. So you can't.
It does make sense though if you think about how they really want to set the Hunger Games up. Like, holy shit.
Yes.
And everybody knows that money protects you from disease. You know, so if you charge some money, I mean, look at that famous South Park Magic Johnson episode. I don't need to go any further.
Yeah.
I think it's just this weird way that we have of setting barriers on things that you know.
It's also the people it's also the people that have the money that can afford to pay for those things that don't mind it because they look at it as, hey, you got to spend money to make money. It just is what it is now. And they encourage that system. You know, like I could easily go down and get a medical card for cannabis and get like legal permission. But I'm not going to pay you for my God-given right to get high. So I'm not going to encourage that institution of you know, strong-arming people for permissions that they shouldn't have to pay for. So I'm not going to pay for it even though I can afford it. And I think the more people that go speeding down the highway and not paying their speeding tickets, the less times you'll see speed limit signs on your highways.
Yeah. I can talk about all that. It's our natural birthright, and that's a whole other.
I think people should just do what they feel best doing, and whatever that means, as long as it's not hurting anybody, do it. I think we need to be happy if we're going to treat each other right. You know, if we're all just kind of repressed and tense, we can't be nice to each other.
Well, that's what's happening. You know how many people can't go travel to see their family or go to see somebody's, you know, funeral or wedding, or somebody could be in a hospital on their deathbed and you have to Skype call your grandma. That's what your government's doing right now, everybody. And you're laughing at the people that stormed the Capitol building like they're the idiots. How about you get off your couch?
Yeah, I think life is to have joy and create a lot of joy. It really is. You know, we're taught, you know, it's to work and do it the other way and just find it in different ways. But it's really about having joy. So it's simple. It's simple. Like, what are we all really doing? What are we doing? You know, we all have to sleep and eat and get up.
Well, that's what we're seeing people do now. Amina, we're voting with our money. Everybody rather have a JPEG file than a physical dollar bill, all the way up to, I'd rather have a JPEG file than 69 million physical dollar bills. I think we're seeing the wealthy take part in our Boston Tea Party-like event right now, where they're throwing some of their money in the river with us. They're like, you know what? You guys are right. Fuck fiat. Let me buy some of this, you know, JPEG stuff. You guys, this is fun. It's also taking a little bit of the fun away from it if, you know, some of them are doing it wrong and we're seeing whatever, but it's still a thing, right? Maybe it'll go in one way rather than the other. We're going to see both sides of the coin be played out. But just to see, you know, somebody had $69 million and they were like, I'd rather have this JPEG file. Justin's son, I think, just donated like $6 million. $6 million to charity. Just like, here you go, charity, because I get a JPEG file for donating this.
And that was for a Beeple NFT again, right?
He's
killing it right now.
I've been trying to troll him into replying to me, but my tactics that usually aren't working with him. So now I have to try a different approach with people.
You think he'll be more famous than Picasso?
No.
This is my interesting question. I wonder, like, what's the first digital artist to, like, really...
The one who actually did it first. I don't know. Maybe Jersey?
All right. I know who... Easy one is, like, if Banksy actually decided to himself come over and do it, not just an auction house or a protocol burning something.
No, like, Banksy should just come in and do airdrops into every Ethereum wallet, like dropping $1 million into every bank account. But just for him to create an NFT himself in general would be like next level, I think. If he created 8 billion different pieces of art and gave everybody one different piece of art, you better believe everybody just got $1 million check in their bank account. That Stimmy check that Beeple or Banksy or any of those artists could just, they could. They're just not thinking it. You know, that's why I say, like, these OG artists, Beeple's like a legacy artist getting, you know, crypto famous. We have legacy crypto artists who have yet to become famous, and that's the ones that will be recognized as the Picassos of our time.
Yeah, it's just cool for me to see artists being elevated to that point where, like, say, an Andy Warhol was elevated to in his era, or like, I guess
but
are
Andy
more
Warhol
modern
was
artists.
fucking market manipulated by a bunch of rich people. That's the first money laundering, art embezzling, auction house manipulated scam.
What have we
I've
been
ever
seeing?
heard. Exactly what we're seeing. Thank you.
But it's
People
cool. I want to
is
see
Andy
one.
fucking Warhol. Thank you.
I didn't want to say it. But that's why I want.
a goddamn Campbell soup can, bro. Come on.
I didn't want to say that, but you're kind of right.
I feel
but
that way about
also,
Kawoshi's
that's why I
too.
want Banksy to get involved in this way, because it would be super legit for the first time, and we would know for a fact.
Yo, shout out to the chat. You guys are collecting these NFTs, right? Because I gave a bunch away, and I don't think
Yeah,
all
scan
of them
those codes.
I don't think they've all been claimed. I'm looking at some, so you may have to go back and rewatch the episode and see which ones you missed. I don't know, but I do have to wrap things up. Amina, let people know where they can go and join your community and watch, your podcast and get in touch with you, and start doing virtual meetups or what. Like, let them know what's up.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up is I do have a YouTube channel. It's Amina M, AMINA-M on YouTube. That's where I prefer people going, because I'll have a lot more shows there with blockchain. And I'm creating courses too, cryptocurrency courses, because what I'm finding is a lot of people are reaching out to me and they want to now know about it. And it, as you know, it takes a while and a lot of work involved in learning all of this. So I'm going to put it into a 3-part course and sell it. I do have a website, AminaMotala.com. So I'm getting that all set up to do that. So please check out Amina M on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, AminaMotala_. Of course, that's my second account because my first one got stolen and hacked and deleted. So it's my other account. But yeah, definitely go there. My website, again, AminaMotala.com. So,
yep, it's in the title, everybody. So you can look at the name in the title. Just add a .com and check it out.
Perfect.
She's an OG, bros. Like I said, I found her doing a meetup in Canada and was just super impressed. And now she's come so far. I'm so proud of you, Amina. We've survived these bear markets together, traveling the world and going to these conferences. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in Canada. Hopefully Futurist or something will be able to be attended by me, or I'm just going to have to coyote my way over.
We'll sneak you in.
Yeah, no, we'll have you back and we'll do some fun
I'll
stuff.
throw you on my back and we'll walk it, Ken.
Yeah, I want to do another conference like we did last, what was that, almost 3 years ago now. I want to do another one. I'm sure we could find sponsors, get a couple DJs, maybe actually literally airdrop NFTs onto people. It's going to be fun.
Easy.
Yeah, it's easy. And please check out my show. I'm going to interview Ken. We're going to talk about NFTs. So.
Yeah, she's going to ask me a bunch of questions. So
the CEO of NFT.
Everybody, I really appreciate you tuning in. Sean with the super chat, Just Learn Crypto. Really appreciate it. Anthony for all the euros. Thank you so much.
Love you, bro.
Again, NFTs are similar as life memberships, guys. So hodl some soul. That's what I do. I put my soul into this shit, man. Bitcoin Blues Brothers, Senor Lupe. Keep an eye out for our collab. Me and Senor Lupe are dropping NFTs.
It's sick.
Emilio, I love you, Emilio. It's good to see you here. It makes me smile every time I see you in the chat, Emilio. Thank you.
Love you.
Crypto Quandary, my bro, with the links in the chat. Thanks for all the support. The manager. Robert.
Hit my drop, by the way.
Snacks,
he's dropping that link.
Ellie Blob, Scott, Randy, everybody. Thank you all so much. I'm out, and as always, have a day.
Have a day. Love you.
Bye.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bro bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.